Hi, today it's Finding Friday, Finding Fridays, yeah, and finding joy on Fridays. And today I want to talk about the seventh obstacle to joy, and that one is adversity or pain or dealing with suffering. And again, my wonderful book, which I'm giving away one of these, by the way, at Brooks Open House. Um, there's a quote in here by Nelson Mandela, or at least I don't know if it's a quote, but he said, "It's normal to experience great difficulties, but these experiences can, with the right way of thinking, lead you to have great inner strength." So I think, he says, that this is something very useful, particularly when we're passing through difficulties. Now, we all face difficulties, we all face some adversity, and we have two choices again, stimulus and response. We can feel sorry for ourselves, which we tend to do for a while. I broke my ankle, really dumb, going way too fast, stepped off the edge of the sidewalk and sat there for a minute and thinking, oh, no way. I knew something was wrong because I just knew it. And found out that there was a little break. It wasn't too bad, but I was feeling sorry for myself, thinking, oh God, I walk 4 miles a day, yada, yada. And then after I had the x-ray and the little boot put on and all of that stuff, I thought, or actually my husband said, it could have been a lot worse. You could have broke your hip, you could have hit your head. I was by myself, close to my house. I could crawl right back in the house, all of those things. But it's hard to think that way when it actually happens at first, especially if it's a major loss. And it's very hard to think about what good is ever going to come out of this. But again, the Buddhists look at it, they say that there are some virtues of suffering and adversity. And the shock of suffering causes us to at first feel sorry for ourselves, but our arrogance does fall away. I kept thinking, man, I can walk and I'm as healthy as I've ever been, and I can probably run a marathon. And no, nope. I'm sitting around finally walking on it, but my arrogance certainly went away. And suffering also gives rise to compassion for others who are suffering. I remember, oh, sorry, another meeting coming up. I remember going to get my driver's license updated, and my husband had to drive because it's my right foot. And there are very few automatic doors because I was still using crutches at the time. And I'm thinking, oh, the people that have to go through this all the time, people that are in wheelchairs, how do they even get here? How do they open the door? And I just thought, this is so temporary. It's going to be 4 to 6 weeks and I'm going to be fine. I'll be driving soon. And but I just thought, oh my gosh, this world is not built for the disabled. Even though it's getting a little better, we've got a long ways to go. And our suffering can have us have that compassion, but we can avoid actions that will bring suffering to others. We can think more about what happened, and slowing down and helping other people so that they don't have to suffer. If it's something that we can talk through or something we've gone through, we can help others, like the loss of a child or the loss of a loved one. Or one of the reasons I got into coaching is because I was a career instructor at the college, and I saw how exciting it was for people to find a new career and get out of the one they hate, and to think that we're at a job for 8 to 10 hours a day, and if we don't like it. So it really brings me joy to help people really identify their purpose and their passion and find the job that they would like. And we do know that sorrow and adversity and suffering happens to everyone, not just to us. And it's really important to think about the fact that we haven't done anything wrong. I remember after losing our son, I thought, oh, could I have prevented this? He was away at college. Could I have talked him out of not going to college? I mean, all that stuff goes through your head. And then a friend gave me this book. It's called When Bad Things Happen to Good People, written by Harold Kushner. It's a very old book, written in the 80s. You can tell it's pretty yellowed, but some good things in there. It's spiritual and it talks a lot about God, but it answers the question, why me? And it really helped at the time. So for some people that might be a resource, and other people it's really not. But I think it's important that we do think about, we're not the only ones, and a lot of times worse things can happen to other people. And so I like to always go to the little exercises that we can perform. And so Um, what the Buddhists again say is that you should take whatever suffering or adversity you experience and use it to help us to grow and develop. And again, that's a hard one, a hard pill to swallow, but it does help us come to the gratitude stage, which is so important. And so what I'd like you to do is think of where you are experiencing some suffering or adversity, whether you're lonely or whether you've been ill or you have a family member that has passed, something that really causes you some suffering. And then think of other people who are experiencing the same things, going through loss this time of the year, or are alone, or have injured themselves, or are very sick. Recovering from some surgery or whatever, and think about, are they even worse off than I am? For me, this is a very temporary thing, and I should stop feeling sorry for myself and take better care of myself. It's a time for me to slow down, finish my art projects, catch up on my reading. I can still work at the computer. There are a lot of great things. I even managed to go have a facial the other day because it's time to take care of me. And so that was a wonderful experience. And to try and look at how can this situation be useful to me and how can I maybe help others, and try to feel grateful for the opportunity, that what good things have come out of this, and are people a whole lot worse off than me. And again, some of you have heard this story. After we lost our son, it was right after Thanksgiving. It was just before Thanksgiving, but I was home, took a leave and from teaching at the college, and really in a funk. It was snowing and it was just not a pretty day. And I read the paper where someone in southern Wisconsin, it was bitter cold, and someone in southern Wisconsin, a farm family, they had 3 small children, and the mom and dad went out in the barn, and the 3 kids, I don't know how small, I shouldn't say that, they were in the house, and they were using some kind of a heater to help heat the house, and the house started on fire, and they lost all 3 children, and they lost lost everything. They lost their house, they lost their family, their Christmas, everything was gone. And I was sitting in my old ratty, torn up pajamas, thinking of how comforting that was for me to be in my comfort clothes. And my first thought was, you have dumb thoughts, but my first thought was, she doesn't even have any pajamas to go into to help her get through this. She lost 3 children, her whole family. She lost her house. I can't imagine the guilt and the pain that they were going through just before Christmas. And I thought, oh, dear God, what we're going through is awful. And I don't ever want anyone to have to go through it. But there's always someone that's suffering more. And all I could do is think about that family and sit back and think, oh, you still have 2 beautiful children. Someday you'll have grandkids, which we do now. And life just does go on one day at a time, one foot in front of the other. And so to think about others that are suffering and to try and be grateful for what we do have. I'm very grateful for my health. I'm very grateful for what I do have. So hopefully you can do that today too. Bring some joy to your life by being grateful for what you do have, and maybe helping someone out that is suffering even more than you are, and by being with people that can really help. So until next week, talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. Bye.